Something very strange is happening with 3I/Atlas. And the first sign wasn't dramatic, but it was wrong enough to make every scientist who saw it freeze in place. Interstellar objects are supposed to move like ancient stones drifting through eternity, untouched and unchanged. But 3I/Atlas didn't drift. It adjusted. A small, precise correction, too deliberate, too sharp. The kind of movement that shouldn't happen in nature. The kind of movement that feels less like drifting and more like steering. At first, researchers blamed the instruments, faulty readings, sensor noise, anything except the impossible. But the data repeated itself with perfect consistency. A clean shift, a controlled angle, a maneuver so subtle it almost slipped by unnoticed. Almost. And that almost was enough to spark the first quiet wave of fear. As the object moved deeper into the solar system, the second anomaly appeared. A tiny rise in temperature, barely detectable, yet utterly impossible. Interstellar fragments remain frozen for millions of years. They don't warm up. They don't pulse. They don't emit a smooth, rhythmic glow that seems to press outward like a slow breathing pattern. But 3I/Atlas did. And the rhythm matched nothing natural. It rose, it fell, it paused, it repeated. A cycle, a sequence, a system. The team replayed the thermal data over and over, searching for noise, but the pattern stayed identical, like an internal process flickering beneath the surface. A scientist whispered that it felt like a heartbeat awakening in the dark. No one disagreed. Then came the flashes. 3 pulses, a pause, 2 pulses, over and over. The timing was too clean to be a reflection and too stable to be random. Light shouldn't behave like a message unless something is intentionally sending it, and that possibility settled over the observatories like a weight no one could lift. When telescopes across different continents aimed toward 3I/Atlas, software glitches struck simultaneously. Systems froze, screens went black, auto reboots triggered without commands. Everything returned to normal the moment they stopped observing it. It was as if the object pushed back, as if attention itself disrupted it. One researcher said it felt like something inside the object tightened, closing its presence the moment it realized it was being watched. Mass readings followed next, jumping in a way no known physics could explain. No collisions, no new material, no acceleration, just a steady increase as if internal components were shifting position, assembling, or activating. Some scientists insisted it was impossible. Others were already past that stage. Radar scans tried to reveal the shape of the object, but the waves bent around it unnaturally, like space itself curved under its influence. Return signals came back distorted, refusing to form a clear outline. A few experts quietly called it shielding. Others said energy field. The bravest said design. No one laughed. Then listening arrays picked up a low-frequency hum. It started faint, barely noticeable, buried inside cosmic noise. But once isolated, its structure became undeniable. Not a random vibration, not a natural resonance, layered harmonics, repeating signatures. The pattern matched the rhythm of the light pulses, as though both signals were different expressions of the same underlying code. By now, government agencies had stepped in. Access was restricted, logs were pulled offline, teams were split and silenced. Behind closed doors, the hum grew stronger, and so did the fear. The moment that changed everything happened without warning. 3I/Atlas slowed down. Not a natural deceleration, not a gravitational influence. A controlled reduction in velocity that pointed to one chilling fact. The object had internal mechanisms capable of manipulating its motion. It stopped behaving like a rock and started behaving like a vessel. For the next 12 hours, it shut itself down completely. Heat disappeared, flashes stopped, the hum fell silent. It became a dark, drifting corpse. Some scientists thought the event was over. Others thought it was only beginning. Then, the blast hit. A sudden burst of structured energy detonated outward in a perfectly spherical wave. Instruments overloaded, data streams collapsed, observatories went blind for 8 full seconds. When systems recovered, the object's signatures were different, cleaner, sharper, more precise, like a machine transitioning from dormant mode into active operation. The flash sequence changed again, no longer 3 and 2, but a longer, more intricate pattern, almost mathematical. The hum deepened, the heat cycle stabilized into a smooth pulse. These weren't glitches, they were upgrades. And then, for the first time, 3I/ATLS broke from its projected orbit. Not drifting, not swayed, it turned. It angled itself toward a region of space with no gravitational attraction, no planetary target, no natural explanation. It moved with intention, following a trajectory that felt chosen. Scientists tried to track the reason. The path didn't point to a star, planet, or known object. It pointed to emptiness, or perhaps something hidden within that emptiness, something waiting. Another anomaly hit days later. A small, faint signature appeared near 3I/ATLS. Not dust, not debris, a compact object that separated from the main body and drifted away briefly before vanishing from detection. If the reading was real, then 3I/ATLS released something, deployed something, launched something. And if it deployed something, it meant this wasn't a passive interstellar fragment at all. It was a system, a platform, a mechanism with multiple components, and one of those components was now unaccounted for, somewhere in the solar system. More troubling than the deployment was the pattern that emerged when all anomalies were placed in sequence. The heat pulses activating, the light codes shifting, the hum strengthening, the mass readings changing, the temporary shutdown, the burst, the new trajectory, the possible deployment. None of it was random. Each event seemed like a step in a process, building toward something bigger. Some scientists believe the activation sequence may have been triggered by sunlight. Others think it was Earth's signals or the focused attention of our instruments. A more unsettling theory suggests the object was waiting for observation itself, as though awareness was the key that unlocked its next phase. If that's true, then every telescope turned toward it may have played a role in waking it up. Now it continues moving, pulsing faintly, humming softly, shifting in ways the models cannot predict. Each day its emissions change subtly, like deeper systems spinning up. Researchers no longer ask what the object is. They ask what phase is coming next. Because if 3I/ATLS is artificial, then it came with purpose. If it deployed something, that something is already here. And if activation has begun, then we are not watching a visitor pass through. We are watching a plan unfold. And the next event in that plan, the one the sequence seems to be building toward, has not happened yet. But when it does, it won't be subtle, it won't be faint, and it will answer a question humanity has never been prepared to face. Not what 3I/ATLS is, but what sent it.